Generally, if you just want to be successful in life. Would you guys want to know 6 key elements of being successful in life? The first thing that you guys need to know is that successful people have absolutely mastered the art of communication. Okay? Communication. No matter where you are or which job you're going to want to do in life, people who end up making a lot of money have mastered the art of communication. They know it's absolutely critical for them to communicate very well. Whether you have a $1 million idea, whether you're trying to negotiate capital from somebody else, you're going to have to make sure that your communication is very well. So I want you guys to hold up your right hands and put like a 3 sign like that. 1, 2, 3. So for 3 times a week, say it with me, 3 times a week. 3 times a week. For 30 minutes, I'm going to read to myself in front of a mirror out loud. Okay, put your hands down. The reason you're going to do that is because you got to start grooming and coaching yourself to speak and communicate very well. Okay, you have to. It's absolutely important, no matter what line of business you're going to be in, because you're never going to be by yourself. You're going to be interacting and working with other people. So communication is vital. The second key to success is attitude. Okay. Attitude. And it's always kind of difficult to define the word attitude. Yeah. Can you really define it? Can you pinpoint it? It's a bit hard, right? But we all know a bad attitude if we see one, right? Like, nah, this person's attitude is it's just off. No, thank you, right? Successful people have mastered the art of ensuring that they keep an upbeat attitude. Okay? Looking at the glass half full. They're always very optimistic. And when you have a good attitude, you actually see more opportunities. You actually have more ideas. You actually tackle life a bit better than anybody who's just thinking, oh my word, things are not moving right. Things are not good. And you're just always looking down. Okay. So attitude is going to be very important. Whether it's your favorite track, whether it's a motivational talk, find something that's just going to give you an upbeat so that you guys have a little bit of energy. The third thing is priorities. Now, I'm going to stretch this one a little bit because you're in Form 2, right? Priorities. It sounds very simple, right? Priorities. You guys are students in school, in high school. So which means one of your priorities should be, come on, who wants to give it a try? Raise your hand. Yeah? Education, right? Awesome. Education should be one of your priorities. You're going to do something that shows that this is a priority. Are we together? Right. In Form 2, I'm going to encourage you guys to do one thing and prioritize each and every subject. You understand? Because when you get to Form 3, you're going to need to streamline it. And if you don't give each subject attention, you're never going to know where your strengths are, which subject you actually perform better in, and which one you don't. Are we together? So it's very important for you as an individual to know how to prioritize things in life. Because if you don't, you'll always end up not doing what you're supposed to be doing or going where you're not supposed to be going just because you don't have priorities. So everybody should take time to actually say, okay, as an individual, what are my values? Right? So take time. If you don't know what it is, just put it down somewhere and say, look, today I'm actually going to try write down maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 values that I'm going to say, look, these are my values. And that will help me prioritize my time based on my values. So what are we doing? We're giving each subject attention so that we can identify what we like and what we don't like. Next thing I also want to say whilst we're on that tip is when we're going through all these subjects, you're going to have different chapters, right? Some chapters are exciting. Some chapters are, look, they're not too exciting. That's the truth. Some stuff can be just boring, right? I want you guys to do one thing. I want you, if you have a diary or anything, I want you to have, to draw like a line right in the center. And on one side, I want you to write love it. On the other side, I want you to write hate it. Are we together? Right? So anytime you're going through any subject or anything that you're doing, make sure that if there's something that excites you, something that gives you a little bit of energy, make sure you put it down on the love it side. You understand? If it's a subject that's even giving you a little bit of a spark, whether it's business studies, like one of our charts over there, write it down. This subject is actually giving me some excitement. This particular topic in general is actually giving me excitement. You know why? Because it helps you identify things that you like, things that you love, and things that could be of interest. Are we together? Yes? All right. Super. So I've given you three things. What are the three things I've given you so far? Communication. Yes. Priorities. Yes. Attitude. Awesome. Okay. So you guys are paying attention. Okay. I like that. Fourth thing I'm going to talk about is relationships. And I'm saying relationships, I don't mean romantic relationships. I'm not talking about mjolo. Right? Right? We're outright talking about relationships that you guys have as classmates, relationships you will have with the rest of your family, relationships you will have with people out there, right? Because successful people have understood that it doesn't matter who it is, where they are, what they're like, right? You never know who's going to open the door for you. You never know who's going to be your potential business partner in the future, all right? You never know when you're going to need that particular relationship. So these people have mastered the art of being absolutely relational with everybody. Last thing you want to do is be fast forward maybe 10 years from now, and you're sitting in an interview and you realize that, oh, snap, I used to school with that person, right? And imagine this person was probably in a stream below you. Think of that Form 1 you've never said hi to. Huh? Can you guys picture that Form 1 you've never said hi to? I mean, you've seen them, but you've never bothered to say hi to. Are we together? Now, picture yourself being in an interview and that very same person is sitting across and they've got the key to unlocking what you want. Or you're pitching a proposal and they've got the yes. Do you think that's an ideal time to be like, hey, yo, so we used to learn at Goldridge together, you know? It's a bad timing, right? Now you see me because you need something from me. You don't want to be in that position, right? So be absolutely relational. Make sure you create these relationships and foster good relationships. Definitely stay away from any negative relationships. Let's take a detour. Why we've got these charts on the walls before you guys move or leave the room, right? More will be pitched up. But ideally, these charts have three zones, right? And what these zones represent are different levels of education. Are we together? So the first zone represents what you can do should you have a certificate. Okay. The second zone represents what you can do should you have a diploma. And the third zone represents what you can do should you have a degree. Are we together? So at all three levels, there are opportunities. Okay. And for every subject, as many careers as you see right here, it's there for every subject that you're studying right now. That's why it's very important, like I said, for you to have a hate it or love it list and to sort of look further into what those careers can be for those particular subjects. So I may not be able to run you through each individually, but what I can do is make sure that the resources are available. Item number 6. Okay. Now, the last thing that I've come to notice that successful people do very, very well, right, is that they're forever growing. Personal growth, right? They're always finding ways to grow themselves as individuals. I'm going to tell you guys a story, right? So, a couple of years ago, I think 6 years, I know I'm on camera. So to my wife, if you see this and I got the years wrong, I'm sorry, baby. But I think it was like 6 years ago. Okay. I think I got married like 6 years ago and I needed this very special sign made. Like it was like my surname and I needed it cut out in like this particular font. And it was very, 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 it was a very, very nice font, very nice sign. So I went online. I was trying to find people who could do it. And then somebody got me. And, I had a friend of mine who's like, yo, dude, my sister can do it. And I was like, your sister can do it? And I'm like, okay, fine. I paid and, the sign got shipped to me and it was exactly what I wanted in the right size, the right font. So I started asking myself, how did she do it? Like, how did she actually did it, or did she find somebody else at like half price and then she charged me double? So I found myself in Harare and I got to meet her. And I was curious because I remember this is a sign and it was carpentry in some form of way. So I didn't expect it to be done by her. So I got there and I asked her, like, so how'd you do it? And she's like, no, 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 I actually make quite a lot of things. Look at some of the stuff I make. And she had like boutique furniture. And when I say boutique furniture, I mean like you've seen those like on TV where you've got the Queen of England and she's sitting like on her chair, like a throne, and it's like fancy. It's like it's not the stuff you're gonna see from TV sales and high. I'm also not saying that there's anything wrong there, but I'm saying like the furniture there is like quite it's like fancy, like like princess, queen, king kind of stuff, right? And she was making that stuff. So my assumption, and assumptions, guys, I just want to say assumptions are absolutely stupid. My assumption was that if she's a girl and she's making this stuff, obviously she went to, because her family is also there. I'm not saying they're wealthy, but I'm also not saying they're poor. They've got a bit of money. So my assumption was that, okay, they probably took her to a fancy place and she studied and she got all the right credentials to do all that. And I then realized that no, they didn't. So I asked her, so how did you do it? And she's like, okay, this is how we did it. Um, I used to spend a lot of time on TikTok, Instagram, WhatsApp, YouTube, right? Looking at the latest dance challenges and all these other stuff. And then I decided to stop looking at all of those things or looking at what my friends were doing. And I started looking at videos that could teach me something. And one of the things I started looking at was how to make furniture. And ultimately, what that then led her to is that she ended up going to South Africa to visit her sister, spent 3 months going to a hardware, kind of like Halstead's, called Builder's Warehouse, where they had a promotion and they were saying, look, if you wanted to learn how to make anything, just come, use the tool, and we'll teach you how to do it. And she did that for 3 months, and that's how she got started. Phone, right? To me, I see this as a tool, right? This is a tool. It's much like a hammer. You can hit a nail. It's up to you what you're going to do with this. So I'm going to encourage each and every one of you to seek personal growth, whether it's in your studies, whether it's on something. There's always something you can learn from this particular device as opposed to entertaining yourselves. Okay? Good. Thank you very much.